Hey everybody, you're watching We the Fandom, where we discuss comic books, pop culture, and the fandom experience. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content. How's it going everybody? Jacob here at We the Fandom, and that reveal in the last episode of WandaVision was crazy. We were met with the X-Men version of Quicksilver.
You didn't see that coming?
And so I wanted to make a video going over the brief history of the MCU and X-Men versions of Quicksilver. So Pietro Maximoff from the MCU was born the older of twins in 1989, with his twin being Wanda, to parents Oleg and Irina. At the age of 10, they supposedly lost their parents when a Stark missile crashed into their house when their homeland of Sokovia had been turned into a war zone. Growing up hating Tony Stark and eventually the Avengers, the twins would be targeted by Hydra during a riot who made them a deal. That being, if they agreed to be experimented on, they would get powers that they could use to fight for Sokovia. The twins ended up agreeing, and when tested on using the Mind Stone, Pietro and Wanda acquired the abilities of super speed and telekinesis respectively. Fun fact, in the Avengers Age of Ultron comic tie-in, it was revealed that the Mind Stone didn't actually give them abilities, but rather unlocked latent potential, possibly hinting at their origin as mutants in the comics. During the Avengers' attack on the Hydra base, the twins would escape and join Ultron in order to exact their revenge. However, after learning of Ultron's plan to wipe out all life on Earth, Pietro and Wanda would ultimately side with the Avengers, and during the battle for Sokovia, Pietro would sacrifice himself to save Hawkeye. So, pretty short history there. Now, the next appearance of Pietro in the MCU would be the X-Men version, which leads to our explanation on the Fox X-Men version known as Peter. Now, this character was born in 1955, the son of Magneto and an unnamed mother, whose last name I assume is Maximoff, but they don't state that in the movie. He also has two unnamed sisters in the movie, one of which we don't even get to see, but in an interview, the director Bryan Singer reveals that that second unnamed sister is actually Wanda. Now, Peter is met by Logan, Xavier, and Hank McCoy in 1973 during the X-Men Days of Future Past movie to help them break Magneto out of jail, to help them prevent the dystopian future where mutants and humans alike are being subjugated by Sentinels. He is able to successfully free Magneto while making a joke alluding to his heritage, him being Magneto's son. Now, we don't see him again until X-Men Apocalypse, showing up in the nick of time to save all the X-Men minus Havoc from a giant explosion in what is probably one of the most memorable scenes in the X-Men films. He would later join the final battle against Apocalypse, and after his defeat, decided to stay on as one of the X-Men. And then his last appearance would be in X-Men Dark Phoenix, which I personally enjoyed that movie. I know a lot of people hated it, and Quicksilver had very few scenes in the movie, having injured his leg pretty early on. Now, I did say last appearance, but there was actually that one scene in Deadpool where he opens the door in the X-Mansion and you can see the 90s X-Men. Now, to kind of go over my theories again, before we hopefully find out this week who Quicksilver is and where he came from. If you watched my live stream this past weekend, I came up with 4 or 5 theories about how the X-Men Quicksilver shows up in WandaVision, and I've decided to boil those 5 theories down to 2. Those being, 1, this is actually Mephisto disguised as Quicksilver, and other than little hints here and there that Mephisto may actually be in the show, one of the reasons being that when Pietro shows up to Wanda's door and she asks him if he's Pietro, he doesn't outright say yes, he kind of gives her this weird nod. Now, I could just be looking into it too much, but I think that Mephisto has been driving events since the beginning, and basically he shows up as Pietro to kind of shake things up, a lot like, they're playing on that sitcom trope of an out-of-town relative showing up to shake up the cast, while at the same time in-universe driving Wanda to the point of insanity so that he can either fully control her or steal her powers somehow, or something like that. I know that theory may not explain a whole lot, but my other theory is that given what we know about how the future of the MCU is diving into the multiverse, that this is actually the X-Men Quicksilver, and he either traveled through dimensions, or Wanda pulled him through dimensions because she's trying to deal with the trauma of losing her brother, on top of the trauma of losing Vision. And since she can't bring people back to life, she's giving herself an alternate version of her brother. And it would work out, because this episode takes place during an 80s sitcom, and the next episode takes place during a 90s sitcom, and this Quicksilver is definitely the version from the 80s and 90s X-Men films. I know those theories weren't super fleshed out. If you want something more comprehensive, I would suggest watching my live stream, which I put a link to in the description below. And yeah, Tomorrow we will actually find out, hopefully. My fear is that they will gloss over this whole point for the entire episode and not explain it until the finale, but we will see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.